Yep, I think you should be able to hear me at this point. Alright. Okay. So, I think that should be coming through. And there we go. Alright. Finally adjusted. I'm going to have to edit the beginning of this one via YouTube's fantastic editing suite. Yes, I know, I spoke into the void, everything was grand, and finally we were able to get some sound. I mean, wouldn't it have been awful? Wouldn't it have been awful if I had conducted the entire final date with Bash? Yes, I have selected Bash over Hazel. I think what broke the camel's back with Hazel was her expecting me to foot the entire cost of the bill of our first date. I don't mind that in reality, but I feel it's something that should be offered rather than requested. That's how I that's how I feel. Oh, and look at that. Look at the Faustian man there. We got Twilord, we got the Faustian man. The Faustian man is already saying, thumbs up this vid, boys and girls and other kin, so the vid gets sent out to more people. This is what I want from my Faustian pacts, Faust. I want people to give this video likes so it pops up in their subscription feeds. But you know what? I don't think we have been on 10 dates. Contrary to the title of this game, we went on a date with Ty, the helmet. I think, was it Justin, the tech geek? I think that was it. Was he Justin? So forgettable. Such a forgettable guy. There was Jake, who was wearing his grandmother's shirt, who seemed a perfectly decent guy. I think he would have been a safe pair of hands, as you say. There was Bash, of course. Who could forget Bash? And then there was the Easter egg date, I guess, the unsuspecting Hazel. So that was our first 5. Then we had Hazel again. Then we had Bash. And now we're having Bash again. That's 8 dates. Unless it's just referring to the first 5, which you presumably get as well if you're playing as Ryan, the male counterpart. Yeah, oh, it was Lucas, not Justin. There we go. My mistake, yeah. And hello to Thunderlips. Thank you very much for tuning in. And Twilord, I will often try to pay for my friends on Reflex, but if someone expects me to, congratulations, you just volunteered. Exactly. See, I'm not a bastard. I'm not an asshole for saying this about Hazel. I think it's a perfectly reasonable view for me to have. And so I feel no regrets. No regrets whatsoever. So we are approaching our final date. So let's get onto it, shall we? I don't think the robots are in danger of taking over humanity, Victoria, despite what Lucas might say. So, as mentioned previously, we've got the choice between Big Bash 123 and Hazel X1. I don't think there is any indecision here. At the end of our last recording, everyone chimed in to say they wanted to see a final date with Bash. This is where we figure out whether he is the hammer-wielding serial killer we expected, or whether he is just a nice lad from London.
Here goes nothing.
Big tits?
Oh, hey. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Sit up.
I was just
Speak
wondering
up.
if you wanted to hang out again. I had a really nice time the other night, and I know this really cool place we could go to.
I would go so far as to say that the music volume and the audio volume in this game isn't completely balanced, is it? Let's no, it's just one volume setting. All right, we'll increase it a little.
Oh my
Yes! Yes! Well done, you.
Thank you.
Misha, you are so kawaii. Oh, London. Underground. Cocktails. Beers. Wine.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
A bash attack from
Yeah,
behind.
good,
His
good.
preferred method of
I got you a
attack.
pint.
Oh, you are a star.
I looked. I learned.
Speaking of kawaii, Victoria, you know
there's-
we're going to play this
I've got
one
much in one
day.
of mine, someone left
But
it
you
there.
know we're going to play this
Someone?
one day on our
Well,
Discord.
a mate's girlfriend. They moved out now, got their own place. Another one bites the dust. You live on your own, don't you?
I do. I love my freedom. But I would move in with someone if the right person came along.
And how long would it be?
Oh, it'll
to
only
move
take
in
me
with
3
that special
dates to
someone?
move in with someone.
Is this where I find out you're a couch surfer?
Easy, mate. I love where I live. You have to remove me by force.
Okay, we've already got a... Oh, you know what? We're easy going. We'd move in with someone after 6 months. We're not... Are you worried, Victoria, that if you purchase Maid, it's going to affect your algorithm? Yeah, I'm going for 6 months. I'd move in with someone after 6 months. Well, actually, you know what? I think I would really pick this question apart in real life. If Bash says how quick before you'd move in with someone, give me your likes, everybody. If someone said that to me, I would say, well, how often are we seeing each other in those 6 months? Because I've dated some people and met up with had like a first date and then saw them again a month later. And other people I've dated and I've seen them again a week later or 2 weeks later. And the consistency with which your dates occur would therefore affect the speed with which you move in, I would assume. Because if I've only met someone 5 or 6 times in 6 months, you could argue that's not a very successful relationship. I don't know. Different people have different desires for that kind of thing. But I don't know, it's too arbitrary, Bash. Bash, you're trying to... This is a Gordian knot, Bash. You are trying to find a solution to a problem that maybe doesn't exist. Faustian Man says, I wonder if he worked in the morgue and just took jewellery off the cadavers. I like that. I like that idea. It's actually called Bash because he cracks people's skulls open. Victoria thinks 6 dates in 6 months sounds so slow. I don't know. In my experience, I've found that different... Sometimes you really want to just drag things out. Sometimes it's a nice surprise to see someone for a while. And obviously, if you are dating more than a single person at once, depending on your situation, you might only have time to date someone once per month. Hell, what if you travel for work? Think about that. Come on. All right. Thunderlips thinks he dates people so hard they die.
6 months? But in reality, a lot sooner if it was with the right person.
Yeah, I mean, there's no rules, that kind of thing, is there?
So
All right,
go with the flow kind
we
of
are. I was going to do the flow.
No.
We both did the
Yeah.
flow symbol.
Very nice.
For what it's worth, I'm an absolute dream to live with. I always put the toilet seat down and that.
Have
Well,
you
there's a
always been
standard.
Well, I'm the oldest of 5 siblings, so I like to be the responsible one.
I thought he said he was a middle
Family's
child.
like well important to me. Thanks for not running a mile after last time.
What, after you trauma
I just said
dumped
the
on
same to
me?
you.
After you lashed out?
like that? Are you sure you're ready to date again?
Yeah. Yeah, Leah used to always say that if anything ever happened to her, she'd want me to be happy with someone else, so...
How did you pass?
Lung cancer. Yeah. Never smoked a ciggy in her life, but I guess it doesn't work like that.
She was an 80-a-day
That's horrible.
lady. Reached the age of 75.
Do you want to tell me more about her?
Yeah, she was a warbird, see? Operated an air raid siren
was
in
The
1944.
funniest person I ever met.
Chain smoker.
And like really sexy.
Looked just like Vera
You know when
Lynn.
they say that
Sounded like
you
her
shouldn't
and
stop
all.
dating the person you're with, even if you
She
think you're
hated
afraid.
Germans. I understood
She
why.
like lived by that.
Her entire family was strafed to
You
death
never
by a
came out of that
Messerschmitt.
honeymoon phase. I don't think that would ever have changed.
We
I took a real leap
we
of faith.
connected over our love of
started dating
wartime
again.
rations, nylons,
It's the
and
first time
parachute
I've felt
silk.
out of control of my emotions. I
Uh,
didn't know how I was going to respond.
Keep it together,
or
Bash. Don't cry on your third
react
date.
to things. And I've surprised myself in good ways and in bad ways. And now I'm just chewing your ear off about it, and you don't want to hear all this.
If this was Army Hammer, you'd
I'm happy
wonder
to
whether he
listen.
actually did want to chew one's ear off.
I think that you're taking
There's a
things
topical
slow,
reference.
and you're being respectful of Leah's memory, but yourself.
Thanks for being so understanding about this, Misha.
You can.
It's all right, you need a therapist, not a girlfriend.
Your real name.
Oh, how about the 5th date?
It's Nigel.
Whatever.
Okay, go on, have a guess.
Out of all the names in the world.
Yeah, have a punt, go on. Why are you looking at me like that?
It's not going to be
I'm trying to see it in
Tarquin.
your eyes.
Tarquin is the funny one, isn't it? Tarquin is the name that only ever appears in comic books as the name of a posh kid. Jeremiah feels like it could be. I mean, it sounds like an old band's name, but these days, these sort of old biblical names come back round. My name's Matthew, by the way. That's always been popular. That's always been popular. Steve. Steve is the most generic, and I feel it doesn't do Bash any favours. I don't have anything against the name Steve. I've got plenty of friends called Steve, but I think we're going to have to go for... We're going to have to joke it up, I think, and go for Tarquin, aren't we? And love it, absolutely love it, if his name is Tarquin.
I'm going to go with Tarquin.
What? Is that shampoo? What?
No,
see?
it's a name.
You don't
Steve.
go in with...
You disappointed?
Steve.
I am actually disappointed, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Steve. It's just there are lots of Steves.
I'm just Bash, aren't I, Mike?
No. No.
Good.
It would have been stranger if I had
Your
called
hair?
him
I'm trying to figure out how you
Steve.
get it so flat. It's like you've ironed it.
Yeah, sorry, I've got hat hair.
Hopefully we've passed each other's looks tests anyway at this point.
Yeah. It's about the next stage, isn't it?
What's that for you?
Boob job.
Having fun with somebody. What about you?
Chat about
If
our
I take one
piercings.
Yes, I had to pick one, so you've got to pick one, so that works.
Oh, sense of humour. I think sense of humour's got to be what it is. Twilord, sad story here. I spent 2 days every week for almost 3 years in another country with the same guy. He broke up after we got stranded in Germany for 3 weeks. Apparently I was too focused on his well-being. That's the story of many a relationship. That's the cosmic ballet, Twilord. Relationships, you put them under strain and all of a sudden you apply the wrong kind of pressure in the wrong kind of place, and before you even know it, the whole thing collapses. It's a Brooklyn Bridge of relationships, this romantic world we live in. It needs to be carefully maintained, observed from a distance by an impartial party, and then, only then, might it survive. Otherwise, all you're looking at is wreckage. All you're looking at is disaster. All you're looking at is broken hearts, minds, spines, and souls. It's a mug's game. It's a mug's game. And... Sorry, Twilight says, was more sharing as a setup for the joke about my partnering style. Well, alright. I take back everything I said. Romance is great. Faustian Man says, just like travelling the world with Saffron. Yes, I am going to go for sense of humour, clearly.
Someone who can make me laugh.
Check. Next.
You think a lot of yourself, don't you? It's all about that je ne sais quoi.
What's
I've
that,
heard of You
Italian?
find that in the frozen section, don't you, next to the nuggets?
Shut up.
Nuggets with a capital N?
I guess it's the
Is it a
same
brand?
as yours, really. Having fun with someone?
If you're having fun with someone, there is not a problem in the world.
Preach.
Sister.
This is BHM. I will not...
I don't think there's any big secrets
I
to a
will
good
not brook
relationship.
this
No,
bash
let the
slamming.
press.
No, but as long as, people can connect, then opposites can attract.
You're really doing the intel on me, aren't you?
Trust me, there is nothing intel about anything I do or say.
You're harsh on yourself.
Thanks.
I do think opposites attract. I think, and I'm not sure how this could possibly capsize this wonderful date that we're on, which I've got to say is a lot more relaxed than the previous two. You know what? The first date was relaxed, oddly, the speed date. The second one, absolutely not. Third date, this does seem to be nicely conversational. We got very close to his bursting into tears. That isn't a good look. Gentlemen, ladies, anybody, frankly, you don't want to burst into tears on the third date. Wait until you're... Oh, I don't know. At what point do you want to have your first breakdown in front of a partner? Because I was going to say when you go on a weekend away, but then that can lead to a real awkwardness of wanting to be apart from someone but being trapped together, such as Twilord experienced. That is a good question. When is the best time, the optimal time for a breakdown in a relationship? As in, not as in the relationship breaking apart. Victoria thinks when you're officially girlfriend and boyfriend, maybe. Nah, that's fair, but I think you still need some time into it, and you don't really want it to be on a date, do you? You want it to be in a casual setting. Not out to dinner, let's say, or at the opera, if people go to the opera these days. Theatre or cinema, you know? You want a... now that's a good way to have a breakdown. Yes, okay, I think I figured it out. It's when you go on a cinema date, a movie theatre date for those of you, or theatre to those of you from the South, who... so you go to see a movie and you cry, you really blub in the movie. It gives your partner something to, oh, it's all right. And then afterwards, that you say, oh, I noticed you know, you were really upset in there, you okay? And then you say, it's all right. It's just... that scene in the movie really reminded me. It really reminded me of that time my family got strafed to death by the Luftwaffe. And I've never forgiven them. I've never forgiven the German Air Force for that. I can't look at a photo of Hermann Goering without feeling so much just primal anger. I'm so sorry I'm dumping this on you now. I know it wasn't expected. I hope it hasn't ruined my date. Our date. I'm so sorry. That's the best time to do it, because then you can connect it to something else. You've told someone something about yourself. But you can then fall back and say, well, as long as we don't watch any more World War II movies, we'll be okay. All right, deal, you say, and that leads to a long and successful relationship. Thunderlips suggests breakdown after making love or during. No.
I'm definitely opposites attract. I think I like to see something new in every person.
It's difficult to look at you
So
during
you're
Link when you're behind me.
The chances of it not working out in the long run are higher, though.
Let's just stick with optimist, shall we?
Yeah.
I think so.
So, are you like one of those people that likes to be together all the time, or do you need your own space?
Well, you know, if you always do stuff apart, then what's the point of being together? Do you know what you want, though?
I guess it depends on the relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd say...
This one feels like a major trap. Mainly because, speaking for myself, I prefer independence. Give me the likes, people watching live. I see you there. I need the likes so this can pop up in other people's subscription feeds. Yeah, Bash just said he's a together guy, but let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Misha doesn't strike me as a together kind of gal. She seems like someone who has her own interests, and she would expect her partner to respect that. I mean, Misha doesn't want to be in a relationship where she's joined at the hip with someone. How can I miss you if you won't fuck off? Is Misha's philosophy. And if Bash is just constantly there going, oi, oi, what are we doing? We're going down the pub, going to play some five-a-side with the lads. Way, cocktails, London, 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 and all that. And I'm going off on a stag with the lads. Do you want to come along? Do you want to come with? I wouldn't want to leave you alone by yourself. And you say, no, it's all right. I'm okay by myself. And Bash would say, what, you'd rather you stayed at home while I'm off to Estonia or something? I mean, why don't you want to come with me? It's a free holiday. Yeah, ooh, yeah. I'm going for independence. I'm going for independence because I feel it is a reasonable thing to expect. It's how I see Misha. And I don't feel this should be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
I like to be independent. I hate it when I see couples that do everything together. Like, I want to spend time on my own or with my friends still.
For sure. I mean, if someone told me I couldn't see my mates, they would be out the door, right?
Well done,
Holding
Bash.
intervention, okay? One of my mates.
That's good,
He
Bash.
kept
You're an
banging on us
understanding
last
man.
minute. So we all went round his house, kidnapped him off his purse.
What happened?
But they're still together. We just see more of him now. We just have to have a discussion about it.
We get to see his bottom half.
With bats
And clubs.
and a van.
And lions and tigers and bears and all this.
Oh, I love Bash. Drinks, more alcohol. Booze.
This is literally the size of my head. Actually,
This
it's
is
not
the
quite big
size
No,
of my
no.
head.
It's quite square.
Oh, London.
It's getting late.
I mean, it's practically
It is,
morning.
Yeah. It was great seeing you again.
Likewise. You've got great chat, Steve.
You flatter me, Mike.
I appreciate the fact that he's a watch wearer. Not enough people wear watches these days. It's all about checking phones. I mean, obviously, we already know Lucas is a watch wearer as well. He has a watch and a phone, and that was a whole discussion in Date 1. I want to ask Bash to do this again. Bash seems like a nice guy, the kind of person you'd bring home to your mother. And smartwatches, they obviously thread the needle there, Victoria. That's the best way of finding the perfect harmony, isn't it? So I'm going to go for let's do this again.
Message me when you get home. I'd love to see you again.
Don't reject us, Bash, please.
Kind of think you're pretty special.
Oh, come on, I'm not all that.
Please don't reject us, Bash.
I know you've lost in the worst way possible, but I hope that you sort of maybe want to find something new with me.
Nah, I'm good. He stands
Yeah, I
up.
mean, there's this quiz night at my local next week if you're interested. Or
What kind of team will I be joining?
one that is in dire need of a star player.
Don't
you got
invite
it.
me on a quiz night as one of the first dates. You will find
I
a
really
very
wanted to
aggressive
swear now,
person who gets very angry at people when they give stupid answers.
You can do it if we win the quiz.
I'll start studying.
I'll dash with you.
What are you going to study? Do you know the subject matter of the quiz? Just read everything, because you're desperate for a kiss. Good. We're back at the first venue, aren't we, I think? Misha and Bash's team finished last in the pub quiz. They had their first kiss anyway. Oh! Aha! Hello, Lovecraftian Inkling. What did you miss? You missed Misha and Bash. What if the quiz is all World War II focused? Asks the Faustian man, and he breaks down. I mean, that is a very, very good question, because we know that Bash has some trauma relating to the Second World War. If the quizmaster says which particularly overweight German was head of the Luftwaffe and Gestapo during World War II, Bash goes, "You don't mention that bloke's name. You will not mention that bastard's name on my fourth date." And he would, get thrown out. It would be a complete disaster, wouldn't it? You do not mention Goering. He even gets tetchy around Nazi Goering, the rice dish. It's a little too close to Nazi Goering. So Twilord says subject matter is Shadow the Hedgehog lore. That is our specialist round today, Shadow the Hedgehog, because previously our last week's quiz with Kid Chameleon went so well. We have now moved on to Shadow the Hedgehog. Next week, get revising, because it's James Pond, and the week after that, Alex Kidd as we return to Sega. So thank you very much, everybody, for putting up with our relationship with Bash. Look at that, there's so many scenes left, including the one where he beats us to death. He thought we were 100% confident, 100% kind, 90% humour. Why, what's wrong with us? What's wrong with my sense of humour? He only thinks we're 50% mature. Look at him. Look at this guy. I mean, you know what? Fuck Bash. I'm dumping him at the quiz. I'm not going to show up. I am going to jilt him at his quiz. So he's there with his mate. Listen, I've picked up this bird at speed dating. I picked up a few, actually. Picked up this bird at speed dating. I think she could be a good replacement for Leah. No, not the playwright, Norman Lear. The old World War II air raid warden that I was dating. Don't mention that. Anyway, she's going to be our ringer. She's going to be our star player at the quiz. And I'd really love to introduce you to all of her. Her name is Misha. No, I don't think she's Russian. Well, I mean, they were on our side in World War II. For after, obviously, the Nazis backstabbed them. You remember? You remember? They did join in on the invasion of Poland, so we can't forgive the Soviet Union for that. We can say they sacrificed millions of men on the Eastern Front, it's true, but they were partly the instigators of the whole thing. Anyway, my son has played Sonic and Shadow, or Shadow Generations Twilord. Victoria thinks Bash likes lower maturity. Well, that's a bit creepy. So, what we could do, now that I have got my Bash rant out the way, is, yes, imagine him standing outside the pub, checking his watch, and Misha never shows up. She will never show up, because she is above people like Bash. You want me to play Shadow Generations on here, Twilord? Probably not. It's probably not the ideal game to commentate over. Though I do love a platformer. So the question is, do we play as Ryan now? Shall we jump straight into Ryan? Yeah, when does he leave the threatening voicemail? I don't know. We didn't get to see the threatening voicemail, did we? Alright, what do people think? Different game now, or do we play some Ryan? And see it from the man's perspective. Tune in the comments, let me know your thoughts, leave the likes and all that. Victoria wants to see Ryan. Faustian Man wants to see Ryan as well. Anyone else want to see Ryan? I'll need 3 votes, otherwise we're switching to Hugh Press Mute on Uncle Marcus. And Lovecraftian Inkling wants Ryan for sure. Okay, we are going for Ryan. Ryan, to the back with you, Misha. And Sinister Lemon 77 wants Ryan as well. Everyone wants Ryan. You know, no, I'm not playing Who Pressed Mute on Uncle Marcus again. I've done it twice, and twice is enough. So I'm Ryan. I am 28 years old, 6 foot tall, probably 5'10". Location: London. There is no 25 dates. This is BHM. So, which one of these do we like? Well, the dog picture is obviously the winner, although we were caught out for fibbing with that last time we played. You know what? I'm going to go for the most prickish picture. I'm going for the prickish one. I'm a Peaky Blinder, aren't I? Not because the Peaky Blinders speak with Irish accents, but Ryan does, and that's more Northern Irish than Irish. So what industry should we be from this time, everybody? We went for other last time to be mysterious. Yeah, we're going for a Tory. We are going to be playing an Irish Tory, the worst kind of Tory. Does anyone have a preference in the chat? Let's go for finance. We're a finance guy in tweeds and a flat cap. I feel like I'm going back in time for myself. Our interests. We're going to really play up the Irish Tory side of things. So we really love, well, we love travel, because that's how we get to travel is, of course. You know what? I'm not gonna butcher an Irish accent. Oh, well, fuck it, I already have. Well, we're going to go for spirituality, and because spirituality is always a hot topic, and sports and fitness, because we still believe in fox hunting. Not me. We're talking about this Tory prick, and because I don't know what difference it makes, we're going for Gemini again. Now, we've seen the opening cutscene before.
Misha, pick up the phone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, get lost.
Well,
Oh,
it's
apparently we
great.
haven't seen this
What's
one. I'm
happening?
guessing because it's from Brian's
I
perspective.
have had a lot of client meetings. It's been very full on. We're doing a merger at the moment,
Are
so
you aware how tough this doesn't sound?
thanks for the sympathy.
Anyway, I've got some news.
He does have some
Okay.
lovely
I
eyes.
joined a dating app.
Have you? Well, I mean, they are inevitable.
I want to know
I
why
was
you
expecting
called
bullshit
me
from you.
on video
What's the saying? They have people in
like
glass
this.
houses
I mean,
covered,
I
don't
could
they?
have
No way, you
been
too.
anywhere.
Matches?
And
Yes,
the
a lot.
idea of being on a
zero.
I
chat
don't
talking
like
to
apps,
someone like
help out
this.
new users with
Misha,
likes and,
you're not
you know,
helping.
they really try and help you get people to like you because you're new.
Misha, I still have 0, even with whatever you just said. There's still 0. What about you?
Hey, the grass isn't always greener. I've got like 80 likes. But like once you filter out like the bad profiles and the nude pics and the meh ones, it's all just a bit...
Victoria's an
Your
expert in this
standards are a
game.
little bit
She's played
high.
it through in
No.
every possible permutation because she likes the
I have a new
achievements, I
initiative in
think.
the works.
What's that? You gonna kidnap someone?
I've signed up for speed dating tonight.
Why did you say that so hesitantly? Hello,
Why
Corbin.
are you telling me this?
Because I'm bricking it and like, do you want to have a drink before?
Could you just say less? It'd be great if you just stopped speaking about 30 seconds ago.
Well, get in touch with
Yeah.
Bash because he's very good at silencing women. Hey, London, 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 London. Underground, 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 underground. Booze, 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 booze. I anticipated it that time, didn't I?
Because there's no substitute for meeting someone face to face.
Yes, 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 yes. I
physicality
know we can see
and
their
their vibe.
physicality.
Yes, but what if there is no vibe? What do you do then? If
You
you're
just
online,
stuff your face
you
with
can log
pretzels.
off, you can make it an excuse, you can just be gone. My internet connection was crap. What do you do here?
Welcome everyone to Speed Dating. My name's Derek. I'm your host.
Still don't like his
We're going to be
velour
beginning very
jacket.
shortly. So, gentlemen, if you could make your way
I
to
appreciate
your
he's a
table
host.
numbers.
You are so cynical. This is where you're going to find that genuine connection you keep banging on about.
Why are you
That
smiling at me
look
like that?
still tells me there needs to be a hidden
Why are
route
you
where the
smiling
two
at
of
me
them
like
can
that?
get
No, I'm not
together.
smiling. You like everything.
And we had a
There is
lovely
small
musical
possibility
sting over the
I might have
top.
signed us both up.
I'm not doing it.
You are.
Ah, you
Yes,
fucking
you are.
bitch, how dare you!
Oh, come on.
No.
Look, at least it's
Trying
gonna
to
be a good
embarrass
story.
me
It
in
is
front
not
of my
gonna be a good
people.
story. I'm
Don't
just
you
gonna
know
get
I've got some
humiliated.
treats I
You've been
need to be
preparing for
doing
this.
back
I'm
in the
not doing
city?
it.
It's a great story. Oh, he's browsing. He's browsing the
Corbin
shop.
says there is a YouTube short where a father gives dating
Sorry,
advice
what?
of when when she
Don't make
asks
me
where we are
repeat
going,
myself.
ask her where she thinks
so
we are
the
going,
women
and
stay
that
at
way
the
you can
table,
take her to a
the men,
perfect date.
You rotate
But yes,
around.
it goes
I'm a man
downhill
now.
if she
You go
says,
to
"Are you
tables,
kidnapping me?"
speak to
Very
us.
good.
What do I say?
Yes, if
Whatever
you
you
say,
like.
"Where do
You
you
have
think
5
we're
minutes,
going?"
okay?
I feel like
And
that's
halfway through the date,
lead up to an
And
execution.
then he'll also tell us when there's one
At least in
left
my
to wrap it up.
personal
So essentially,
experience.
you've got to use your time wisely, which I know you're not good at.
No. Hence why I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
We're going to start with the gentleman by your first allotted table numbers. And good luck. Have fun.
You're sitting in my first date seat, so I need you to jog on.
I could be your first
Go
date.
well, lad. Cheers.
You don't impersonate an Irish accent. It is very harmful. Harmful. Have you ever mixed white wine and red wine in a glass? Brandy, rise and grind. Okay, here we go. Off to a good start.
Hi there. I'm Ryan. Can I sit?
I don't know. Can you?
Thanks.
I'm Brandy. What do you do for a living?
I work in
Straight in
finance.
Long hours, big paycheck.
Well, the more you put in, the more you get out.
That's why I've got my side hustles. I'm a beautician, but I'm doing an online course in international relations and cryptocurrency. I just sold an NFT, actually.
Non-fungible token, the digital art thing.
Bingo.
Play money, though, isn't it?
Try to send that to my bank account. Sorry if I'm quite direct about things. We just don't have a lot of time.
Sure. Can
What
I
are
I?
you
have
looking
deeply
for?
offended Twilord with my
Oh.
Irish accent.
Okay, that is a big question.
Important question.
She strikes me as someone who would value sarcasm. Given that she's coming in this fairly strong, she's entering this gambit with a pretty defiant attitude. So let's meet her. Let's meet her with sarcasm, shall we?
Well, I mean, whatever I can get, really. I mean, they didn't do any background checks here, so I couldn't really pass up on that opportunity. Although, that could work both ways. You could be an axe murderer for all I know.
Obviously not.
The crypto trading beautician is a pretty suspicious cover.
I don't think she's got much of a sense
Are
of
you
humour,
making
lad.
fun of me?
No. No. I am being sarcastic. I am doing it badly, mind you, but I was...
You were joking. Right. No, that is actually quite funny. Sorry, I just... I
Have
don't really
no
get
sense
British
of humour.
sometimes. You know, I wasn't born here.
Irish humor, but...
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Correct her.
But you have been here for a while by the sounds of things. Do you live locally?
Yeah, I bought a one-bed up the road. It's top floor with an amazing...
Did you see the
water.
disdain with
You
which he just
bought
gave her for a one bed?
Penthouse.
The NFT
Oh,
was
okay.
pretty
But then he
valuable.
discovered it was a penthouse.
Where do you live?
I live 10 minutes away. I live
I
on my
don't
own as
know
well.
whether, as players of this game, give me your likes, by the way,
Just a quick
everybody.
fire round.
I mean,
I don't know whether, as
I can't
players of
bring
this
them up.
game, we're supposed to appreciate NFTs. If we're supposed to think NFTs and crypto and that is all perfectly legit and an honest way to earn an income, or if we're supposed to go and think this person's a bit of a wanker. But do give me your likes, not because I am checking them, I promise you I'm not. It is because when people like, it appears in more subscribers' feeds. It notifies them when the video goes live. It's a horrible chemical formula. Okay. So, what have we got here in the chat? She's a serious finance girlie. She doesn't want time wasters, says Sinister Lemon. Faustian man, I live 10 minutes away in the sewer. Victoria wants me to say I own my place. I'm guessing she would be more impressed with that. And yes, straight into NFTs and no sense of humour. Down, thumbs down from Link the Vampire. Thunderlip says Ryan run. Awkward GM Corbin says I think it's trying to get you to put your own bias in. If you like her, you probably like NFTs. Victoria says I think the game picked NFTs so players would have a strong reaction to her. You know what? You're probably right. You are probably right. They're manipulating me. They're manipulating me, just like they did with Bash. Okay, well, we too can play that game.
Renting, but I have been there for a while, so I feel settled. Like, it feels like home, so I like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Don't
This is your 3-minute
patronise
warning,
me.
guys. 3 minutes to go. Just 3
I
minutes.
rent because I don't
of
like to
lovely
have to cover my
conversation.
own maintenance.
Okay, let's move on to Barn Affairs.
And because I bought this NFT for several £100,000 and it completely
What
wiped
time
out my
are you
mortgage.
into, though?
I think it was from you.
I allowed to say a lad's holiday?
Go for it. You won't hear from me again, though.
She wouldn't have gone for Bash. We can see that. So, Corbin. Victoria says the look of disdain when you said you rented. It was... Corbin says they are manipulating me to hate her, like I hate Navi in Ocarina of Time. There's a game I've not played in a while. Faustian man wants me to show the fishing knife I have under my jacket. I like a staycation, myself. I just want to stay... Not in the city, you understand. I want to rent a cabin in the woods where it's just you, me, my tools, instruments, really. That's what I like to call them. My toy box is what I've called it. And all the way out there, we can do absolutely anything. We can say anything. We can make any noise we want at any volume we want. And no one will hear us. It's fantastic. You don't disturb anybody. The reason I rent is because I own this cabin in the middle of Epping Forest. And no one goes out there. No one. No one goes out there. And really... it's a perfect place for solitude. Obviously, I'll be there with you, but I can't imagine you'll be doing much talking after a while. So, yeah, staycation.
I am actually a big staycation guy.
Like, in the UK.
Yeah, there's so much to see here. Like the different cities, the counties, and then within the counties there's towns, there's villages.
What about
I
your
think that
love of
everyone
old
takes
Ireland?
what they have on
Era.
their doorstep for granted. You don't need necessarily to fly to the other end of the world. There's so much to see here and do.
I'm a
and
big
it's
fan of
convenient.
Butlins. Do you like
It's
Butlins?
So that's the real reason. I actually want to go to Rock soon. is where my mum raised me.
Cool.
She was my role
Oh,
model.
fuck off then.
Do you have anyone like that yourself?
Wow, that is a very good question.
Could be from your childhood or even now, if there's anyone who inspires you.
Who inspires me? I'm not going to say celebrities. I'm not that vapid.
I am the person I am because of the relationship I have with my family. I've
We're
also
very
surrounded
close.
myself
The
with
Dunsterns, you might have heard of us. I know they're
motivate me to grow.
mainly Scottish, and there isn't an Irish
My best
Giovanni
interest at
family.
heart.
I mean, yeah, the energy we surround ourselves with is so important. Unlike family, you can choose friends, which shows you have good judgment.
Evidently.
You didn't choose to meet me though. Speed dating.
Could have moved straight past.
It is amazing to hear you look up to your family though. I wish I could have had that growing up.
Oh, okay. We can let. So I feel like we were going down at first, and now we're back up again. We're bell curving, or inverted bell curve. We'll keep listening to her.
Obviously, learning certain harsh lessons on your own is good, but I don't know. Certain things could have been avoided if I'd had someone to guide and.
Well, like the
support me.
NFT.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I
Maybe if
I
you'd
think I'm very
listened to a
lucky.
financial
Okay,
advisor.
next question.
Or
Does body count matter?
Holy moly.
Not being
I
a
was
complete
not expecting that question.
Well,
Tosser.
you were getting too smug. So, what do you think?
most reasonable people in the world are going to say, no, of course body count doesn't matter. You know, it's not... You have to be fairly insecure in them. Well, I say that. Obviously, there are religious reasons. There can be all kinds of reasons why it might matter. I'm not going to lay down judgment myself. But I feel like in this game, it will never be a... Yes, body count being, I assume, the number of people I've killed and buried in Epping Forest. I'm going to say no, it doesn't. It doesn't matter.
No, not for me. Just so long as someone's past doesn't affect their present too
That's
much.
a good answer.
So,
you wouldn't
body
have
count
dated Bash either, Ryan.
would not be an issue.
Okay, so you're open-minded. That's cool.
Are you trying to tell me something, though?
No.
Got 1 minute to go, guys. Just 1 minute.
She used to
So
operate out of a
wrapping
knocking
up
shop in
very
Soho.
soon.
So, how did my questions make you feel?
There's a customer satisfaction survey.
Your feedback
The
is greatly
erect is
valued.
not one of the
It
options.
actually, though.
Only if it's good.
I will go for... I guess, you know what, Corbin? You are right. It can matter because you might want to date someone who is more experienced. That is a very interesting way of expressing it. And, yeah. I don't think I have ever dated someone in the hope that they would be more or less experienced. It would be a strange thing to aim for speed dating. See, I'm thinking this over. That was a really interesting proposition. It would be a strange thing to aim for in a speed dating environment. But in other environments, if you were, I don't know, at some kind of swinging club, then you are going to feel more desiring to be in someone's safe pair of hands, per se, because they know what they're doing. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, Link wants somebody who knows how to not get caught red-handed with murder. Don't worry, she's not going to be doing the murdering. They were fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm going to
I
reject
didn't really
you later.
feel like we felt like strangers.
That's because we're both
You?
Tory
That answer isn't part of the
financiers.
survey.
I see how this is going. Okay.
And your time is up. Thank you.
I'm
ladies
really
and gents.
uncertain. Are we going to get her
Lads, Move on
details?
to your next table. Your date is awaiting.
Don't forget any of your stuff when you go.
I didn't bring any. Right, well, thanks.
Oh,
See ya.
I thought she was going to say my number. Okay, that one gave me real mixed signals. I think we were all over the damn place with it. Oh, booze. Yep, okay. There, that was... Well, I hope someone's warming up, because that one was frankly the opposite. Oh, I see what you mean. Your foot's on the fucking
Oh, yeah.
table.
You my date now?
Yeah, I guess I am.
This is easy
I'm
mode.
Ryan.
I can already
Nice
tell
to meet
because
ya.
she's happy.
Sorry, I've got a match tomorrow, so I've got to keep limber.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. What is it? A sports match? Do you play locally?
No, it's my job actually. I'm a footballer.
Oh shit.
Women
Should
can
you
do that
be, dating the night before match?
Oh,
Professionally.
don't worry. It's fine as long as I'm in bed by 12. Don't drink. Non-alcoholic. And don't have sex.
What's your position?
Reverse cowgirl.
I like her already.
What is your football position?
What do you
This
think?
is a woman. She's got spunk. She's got
That's-
balls.
that's a tough one.
She got spunky balls.
Just say which area of the pitch. I'll narrow it down for you. I'm not tall enough to be a goalkeeper. I'm a keeper in other ways.
Yeah, you have noticed the numbering system, Corbin, and yes, there do appear to be 1,000 tables in this dystopian speed dating realm that was created by J.G. Ballard, and you're just constantly moving around this this fucking venue until you can be paired off for life. It's a bit like The Lobster. See, I'm tempted to say defender because she is already. Saying substitute is insulting. Attacker. She didn't go straight for me. I'm going for defender. Faustian Man thinks the numbers are related to Dante's Inferno. You would think that. Let me remind you of your name, Faustian Man.
Well, you are doing your pre-match conditioning, which makes me think that you are reliable. And I think reliability is important in a defender, so I'm going to say defense.
Winner, chicken dinner. Pat yourself on the back.
So do you often take
you like
balls to the
sports yourself?
face?
Yes, big time. Football, rugby, tennis, basketball, golf.
High lie.
I watch absolutely anything.
Yeah, same. If it's on the telly, I'll watch it.
Oh,
You
this is
know
a
anything
match
about
made
it?
in heaven.
Yeah, I'll pick it up as I go along.
It's like watching the Olympics, isn't it?
Out of interest, do
Become an
you
expert in,
vote
some random event
Conservative?
overnight.
Yeah, I became
What
an
did you
avid
think of
curling and
Brexit?
skateboarding fan for those 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's not your phone. Is this reminding me to carb load for tomorrow?
What do you have in pasta?
Footballer's best friend.
This is your halfway.
Certainly not the referee, am I
guys.
right?
That is 3 minutes to go.
You know what? He should be going over to her and
So,
saying, if you didn't buy that in
how
the
did you become
venue,
a pro?
love, out.
I'd say my key influence was my dad. He used to take
Try
me to
Lord have a
practices,
fun
to
appointment with your
matches.
barber.
He knew I fell in love with it and did everything to cultivate my passion.
Do tune into the
Kit,
pre-recorded
travelling,
version.
consoling me after bad performances. Are you close with your parents?
No, I wanted to ask you more.
We ain't got time, right, lad? Tell me if you want to.
I like the chemistry on show here. I think we're going to be close. We said to, what's her name, Brandy, that we were close to our family, so we're going to say we're close to both.
Yeah, I'm lucky to have a great relationship with both my parents. They're both great. Yeah, they have a
She's
great
not
relationship.
scowling,
and
that's a good
they're
sign.
kind of like a blueprint for the sort of person I want to be, and the sort of partner I want to be with.
That's amazing. It's so hard to find people talk about both parents like that.
Yeah, God, good parenting is definitely important.
It is.
Let's see how competitive you are.
That was a...
Do you fancy a
Harsh
quick
edit.
challenge?
Obviously. Fancy a test of strength. I chuck weights around like toys in the gym.
Okay, that's some fighting talk. How about we do an arm wrestle?
You alright?
Are you...
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I don't want to injure you before your game.
Get your arm on the table, lad.
Oh no, this is going to go badly, isn't it? This is where we screw this one up. I was really liking her. I can't remember her name, but I really liked her. What
Ready?
is her name again? Her name is Tony. I like Tony Adams. Good Arsenal good Arsenal
Already
defender.
holding hands.
I'm just desperate.
Or I'm irresistible.
If we get the option to actually force this, if we miss to see this from
Come
Twin
on,
Peaks:
come
The
on,
Return,
come on.
snap!
Shit. I really thought I was winning that. You're stronger than you look.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna be gracious because I like Tony.
Look, I confess, I do some arm days in the gym, so.
Makes me feel a bit better. Still gutted though.
We've got 1 minute to go, guys. Just
Yeah.
1
Well, I've not
minute.
gutted you yet.
Ooh, we're in stoppage time. What? Football's the best sport for making analogies.
No.
Do you fancy another quick challenge?
yes, but what do you want to do?
Well, there's conversation starters and riddles.
Look, they
but I
have
think-
they've really got a good back and forth.
Okay. A man looks at a painting and says, "Brothers and sisters, I have none. But that man's father is my father's son. Who's in the painting, the man or his
Oh,
son?
hang on. I think I already know this, don't I? It's his son, I think.
Brothers and sisters, I have none. That man's father.
Yeah, I think that's the son.
Is my father's son, so he's looking at the man's son.
No, it's the man himself, isn't it?
I don't think
You
so.
know
How do we
what?
find the answer?
I'm not the Riddler.
Oh, is it? It's folded in. Okay. More thoughts gone into this event than I gave it credit for.
Corbin,
Ready?
I don't need your judgment. We're doing this for
Hey,
Ryan,
son.
but Ryan is
Listen,
an
logic,
extension of me.
Yeah,
He is my
okay.
id.
You may
My
have
ego, my super
slightly
ego.
more brains
He is
than me.
Yes,
all
but
of
you
me.
have slightly better feet than me.
All
so
of me.
we'll call it even.
Take it.
And that is time, everyone. Move on to your next date.
We crammed a lot into that.
I'd like
Yes,
to
we
cram
did.
yes, yes.
Yeah, it was great to meet you, Tony. Is that short for
Yes.
Antonia?
Spot on, but everyone calls me Tony.
Yeah, I
Thank you
agree,
very much.
Victoria. Riddles
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
lousy first date
what's your handle?
icebreakers
At
because you end up
TN7.
both feeling
Tony
stupid.
Newton, my shirt number 7.
That is some main character shit right there.
You're a number
know.
7 defender. Well, I'm not suggesting defenders aren't ever number 7, but
Good
they
night, Tony.
typically range from number 2 to number 5 in my experience. Obviously, you can have a bigger defensive group of players on the pitch. You can have, like 5, 3, 2, 1 or something, but it's 7? Maybe. Well, we got a number. Anyway, we got Tony.
Sorry, just fixing my
You will
eyeliner.
be.
I'm Azalea.
I'm Ryan.
I don't look like a Ryan.
Oh god, she's seen through my fake ID. She knows I'm a killer.
That's not from here, is it?
No. You gonna snitch?
It's Faustian
Amanda.
Man's a dream girl.
So can you put your board into it?
Okay,
That's
so again,
the,
we need someone to
fermented
come over here and say, excuse me, you got to pay corkage on that, love. We've already had to kick someone out for eating their own pasta. Look, you can buy pasta and you can buy drinks. This venue isn't just a shelter for people to bring their own food into, you know? This is how we make a living. We make a living by selling food and selling drinks. And if you just keep bringing this stuff in here, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Exactly. So that's my question to you. All right? If you don't have an answer, I don't expect you to have an answer. It's rhetorical. Look, you can have your drink. You don't have to pour it away. But please, if you're going to get another drink, get it from the bar. All right? I don't want to be here. It's not like, this isn't my ideal night out. I'm having to work. And I don't like having to come up to people like you and say, excuse me, dear, this is a bar. And at a bar, you buy the drinks. Unless someone has put some money behind the bar for you, I accept that. But what you don't do is bring in a hip flask and start drinking it yourself, because that's where this thing called corkage comes in. All right? And we've got to charge for that. Okay? Also, we can't regulate what you're drinking. We don't know if you're drinking something that's legal, that's illegal. It's just going to make everyone's lives a lot easier. What? Why are you walking? Why are you getting up? Why are you walking off? Oh, all right, yeah, okay. You'll find a bar where you can do that. Why don't you just sit in the park? Why don't you just sit in the park and drink from your fucking hip flask, you hipster goth? Is what the bar person will say. I will say that looks good, whatever the hell it is.
It looks good. Are you happy with the batch?
Very. Tell you more about it, but we haven't got much time.
So, the kombucha is
Come in
homemade.
with a good attitude.
The goblet is homemade. What else is homemade?
I'd say
This knife.
90% of this. The clothes, the accessories.
You
make it
look
all from
like you were designed by
scratch.
Rob
Started
Liefeld.
selling my stuff online during lockdown, and it grew into a full-time business.
Wow, that's really original.
Thanks.
Hello,
Turns
Richie
out my
Rua.
aesthetic plays quite well these days.
What aesthetic is that?
Call it
Quick
what you
check in
want.
before GMing a
I've
Delta
had
Green
these plans,
game.
kind and unkind.
Yes, this is a Delta Green game, Richie. Sinister Lemon says she's definitely the kinky one. Well, I found that people can dress up like this, and it can certainly not translate to anything in the intimate sphere, shall we say. I will say that she is probably a serial killer, however. I don't care about her job.
What brings you speed dating, Azalea?
I'm self-employed in a company of one.
Oh god, people who are
So the only
self-employed,
man
they
I see
disgust
day-to-day
me.
is my gecko. And
That
Tom.
the unreliability of it all. Someone actually
I
took
don't
their
like
like
the apps,
away.
people are very judgy on there.
Sorry to
So
hear
if you're watching this now, leave a like, because we've got
Judgmental
people
life,
disliking
so I can
this.
actively remove myself from that environment. I do.
Do I look like a Ryan yet?
Not quite.
All right then. Well, what else can you tell about me?
You have
Don't
the
do
energy
my
of an air
horoscope.
sign.
Oh.
You seem quite logical and proactive.
How so? Like, we've only just met.
It takes proactivity to come to a speed dating event.
Well, what if I told you I was dragged here by my best mate, Misha?
I'd say you're using logic to undermine my instinct.
You're right. But there's more to us air signs. We're great communicators.
Oh yes, I was into spirituality.
We do get bored easily.
Sounds like a threat.
I think you're safe.
Good to know. I like that we can share the
Link
stuff.
the Vampire says, what are the odds
Just
of two
3
serial
minutes
killers
to go,
going to
everyone.
speed
3
dating at the
minutes.
same venue? Well,
And
how do you
I'm
think
very
Fred and Rose
quickly,
West
very
met?
quickly.
You're really into your astrology then?
Gives me structure.
Richie Rose
analyse
says,
their
finally a
behaviour
character
in
from my
context of
country. I
something
can
bigger.
relate a lot.
My
Yes,
main
she
star
is from
sign
your
is
country, I'm
Scorpio,
sure.
which I think really suits
Victoria
me.
says, every goth girl I know in real life loves astrology. I think it's just the subculture. Well, as we've just found out... See, when I chose spirituality for Ryan, I just thought I would make him some kind of dogmatic evangelical Christian, but what it's translated into is a guy who likes star signs, air signs, and road signs. Let's engage with this nonsense.
And,
I'm really not
then
drawn
based
to
on
her.
when and where I was born, my rising sign is a Sagittarius, and my moon sign is a Libra.
What's the difference?
You're into
between the-
spirituality, Ryan.
Your
You
main
should know
star
this.
sign is your sun sign. Represents sort of your
He,
desires. in
you
life,
say he could be a
and
Catholic,
your rising
Richie. He
sign
could be
is how
one of
you
those
present to
dirty
others,
Northerners.
and moon sign is what you like deep down.
Okay. I don't really know about the other two. So.
Work them out for you. We haven't got much time. So.
Statistically,
So
though, you're
then
correct. He could be a
what
Catholic.
makes your sun sign?
He should be a Catholic.
So Scorpio.
We aspire to be
Why aren't you a
brave,
Catholic, Ryan?
loyal, honest,
Negatives.
jealous and secretive. That doesn't really apply here. Do
Yes,
relate to
he
them
isn't.
families
He's not
entirely.
from
Are
Belfast.
they really aggressive?
Certainly, he
Anyone
is from.
threatened?
He's from
Don't they eat each other?
Era,
Yeah.
not
I forgot to mention that.
the North.
And this is your final minute, guys. Final minute.
So, I was wondering.
No. I've spoken about myself enough. I want to know more about you.
I feel like it's been pretty even. Can you just.
It really hasn't, so I want to know more about you.
Tell me about your
Finally.
tattoos. This sounds like I'm actually interested in her as a person.
Azalea, I have noticed you have a couple of tattoos.
I do.
Hello to
Wanna know
Belfast,
about any of them?
Richie.
Choose wisely. Some stories are better than others.
Am I more interested in the pentagram on her chest or the caravan on her arm? Clearly, I'm more interested in the pentagram because I want to know if she intends to sacrifice me. But the caravan is the one in the less I'm staring at your tits place. And hang on, but I'm going to say that. I'm going to mention for a moment that this barley symbol, inverted, is much too high up for it to be translated as, by the way, I've been staring at your cleavage all night. That isn't it at all. If it was lower down, if it was closer to the nipple, then I think she could have just cause for saying, you've been ogling me all night. But that high up, I think we're in safe ground. We're on safe ground if we go for the pentagram. I'm more interested in the pentagram. I'm going to find out about it.
The pentagram, is that a satanic symbol?
You're the spiritualist.
I mean, I've dabbled in Satanism, but its wider interpretation is quite genteel. It's about shunning the rigid restrictions of society.
Mm-hmm. And it's not about sacrificing babies.
Aha! In
Safe.
caravans and Epping
A tattoo.
Forest.
I just I like the shape. It's all about those clean lines and sharp edges.
My favourite bloodline is the
That's
barley. I
Ladies
prefer
and
to call them
gents, time's
Bayali.
up. Let's be moving
And
on.
I'm one of those people who believes that player
That
characters
was
should
the,
be able to be barley.
kind of interaction I was hoping for.
It was. I was
Yeah,
completely
me too.
not invested
what
in
is your
that
handle?
exchange.
I'd love to check some of your stuff
Who
out.
uses the word handle?
At Azalea Shadows. AZALEA Shadows.
Okay.
Yeah, remember how to spell Azalea. Well, somehow we hit it off with the devil woman. St. Paul's. Dubious cocktails, red wine, and more sparkling white. Pretzels. Kathleen, study break. 118. So she is a directory.
Yeah, I'm Ryan.
Ryan, I'm Kathleen. Sorry, I just wanted to squeeze in a quick page. Do you mind if I get to the bottom?
Yeah, by all means, fire away.
I have nothing against Americans. I know and love plenty of Americans. I enjoy spending time with them. But immediately,
Done.
I thought...
All yours.
What are you reading?
The Evolution of Bond-Forming Dynamics Across the 21st Century by Professor Gertrude von Nosselhoff.
That's not a real
must
name.
Be a pretty good read if you're sneaking in pages in between dates.
Oh, no. I have to finish it for a seminar tomorrow. I'm a PhD student in behavioral psychology.
God, this is going to be awful. This is going to be terrible. And it's not my place. You know, I believe you can, of course, compliment the way someone is dressed, and you may not think much about the way someone is dressed, but ultimately you need to respect their choice. I don't think that is a good outfit on her. That is me. That's just me. I'm not. She is a perfectly lovely looking, sounding. I'm sure she's perfectly interesting. But that I'm guessing it's a top, rather than a whole dress. Because if that went all the way down, yeah, no, sorry. I know. It's very judgy. It's very judgy of me, and she's just staring at me while I'm waiting to see whether I'm going to ask her about Gertrude von Nosselhoff again, which is a name I'm going to have to use in a game. I'm going to move on.
Okay, so you're here.
I don't
because
care
you're looking
about
for a
her
study buddy.
psychological paper.
Quite the opposite. I need someone to keep me out of the library occasionally.
So the age-old
She's the
work-life
kinky one.
conflict.
Which side of it do you fall on?
Am I allowed to say that balance is best?
No. No fence sitting, one or the other.
Life is better than work, and I say that as a writer of role-playing games.
Work it's just a necessity.
I wasn't going to come down
I mean,
so
any
hard.
moment I'm not in work or on the clock, I can devote to whatever I actually want to do.
So you're a 9-to-5er?
At the very most.
I don't think I could stay out of the library that much. Anyway, I have a confession to make.
Serial killer.
Okay, already.
Everyone tells me that for whatever reason, I haven't lived.
I don't believe that.
I've never been to a nightclub.
Might be because of the
Never.
curtain you're wearing.
What, your 4th stint as a student and you've never even set foot in a nightclub?
I would rather spend the day in a cafe with a book and my laptop.
This is your halfway warning,
Victoria
guys.
says, I think her shirt gives her
Halfway.
childish energy. It would be
So
fine for
you are
events that
still
aren't
studying
dates.
to become
You're right.
a
You're
more
right.
qualified psychologist.
The more you know, the more you earn. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, I work in finance.
Sorry, I researched good speed dating questions before tonight.
That's what you got? It sounds a little bit more like you researched good job interview questions.
I
instead.
want to be a family man.
I want a happy family by then. I just want to be in a loving relationship and however many kids life blesses me with.
Okay, so say life has blessed you with one child, boy or girl.
Okay, blessed was a bit of a lame choice of words.
No, it was sweet.
Oh, sweet. That's what every guy wants to hear.
Ha! There's a cop out, but also a political statement.
Am I allowed to say neither? Yeah, I feel like I'd leave them free to decide who they want to be. And if that subscribes to a gender norm, great. And if it doesn't,
If not, that's great too.
then go. Question.
She seems to take that well.
How do I know that all of this is
Richie Rua thinks that I actually kind of like her, but she looks
You
like she'd
don't.
micromanage your life
But
and never
a
be happy
study
with
of
your
the
choices in
University
anything.
of Virginia
I
found
don't
that we are
pick
more
that up.
intrigued by those whose thoughts and
Sinister
feelings are
Lemon 77. She's looking
have
for a
a
man in
study
finance,
for
trust fund,
everything.
6 foot, blue
Is that
eyes.
supposed to be my key takeaway from today?
I'll offer you a better one. From Professor Nosselhoff?
I'd rather you
I'll
didn't.
find one from the start of the book.
You're not too late, Mr. Mister. We made it with Bash.
Here we go.
You
This is a
can
good
watch
one.
the pre-recorded version.
When we set off on a journey,
We are now
riddled
Ryan.
with excitement or apprehension. Nothing in between.
It's not exactly one you'd read in the toilet, is it?
No,
I think
not
it's
quite.
perfect for toilets. I'm going to disregard that nonsense.
Yeah, I actually think that's a load of bollocks. I think when you're starting off on a journey, you could be feeling anything, all sorts of things, or you could be feeling absolutely
Yeah.
nothing at all.
Oh.
I agree.
Oh!
It's a nonsense quote,
That's
which I plan to
surprising.
contest with my professor tomorrow.
I don't want to say anything about, your PhD, but you could just come to me if you want any of these answers.
Be a lot cheaper.
I'm not
well, no,
torpedoing
you
the
don't
date,
hear my
Fausty
radio.
man. This one's going well.
Got 1 minute to go, guys. Just 1 minute.
Well, how do you fancy spending the final minute?
Why not leave that to Professor von Nosselhoff
Jesus, do
again?
you have your own
Let's
thoughts
get a
in
takeaway
there?
from the end of the book.
No. I do not want Nosselhoff.
No. Look, we can do without the help of Professor Nostradamus.
He is channeling me.
Okay. I didn't have any other plan.
Show me something of
Yeah,
yourself.
come to think of it, neither did
Oh, fuck's sake. Ryan, develop a personality.
I like your shirt.
Lie,
Thanks, my mom got it for me.
clearly.
That's your lot. Ladies and gents, time's up. Let's be moving on.
It's fine. Not everyone
Well,
knows how to flirt, but small
great meeting you.
talk? You fail your fast talk roll.
You too.
Have a good evening.
Where's
ya.
your social media info? I guess I'll just look at random tablecloths and hope you are them. I think she seemed perfectly pleasant. I just don't think she necessarily is well suited to a speed dating environment. Okay, that's for two rejections. And you know what? It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I am eminently dateable. Eminently. And I say this as Ryan, obviously. I'm not offended. I didn't do anything wrong.
Good evening.
I don't think this
Derek,
is a surprise
evening
gay
host.
option, Richie Rua, at this
Derek?
point.
Am I in trouble?
No.
I think this is a clearly
but,
gay option.
Unfortunately, the lady that was sat at this table, she had to leave early. I'm sorry.
Victoria wants to know between
So
Kathleen and Brandy,
filling
which
in
date
for
do I
her? Did she
think
pull a
went
runner when she
worse?
saw-
Well, I think Brandy went worse. So let's find out, shall we? Brandy 50-50, 60-60. Oh, it was Kathleen. Okay, I did not pick that up. And well, this is a bit of a giveaway here. The options you should be taking, I think. Because look at this. With Bash, boom! Did everything. We've reset, but we've done everything that we could with Bash, except for the whole viewing scenes.
No, nothing of the sort. She is a musician. Had a gig to get to.
Well, that is pretty fair. That's a good alibi.
How did...
Maybe she shouldn't have attended a speed dating
for?
Oh,
event
was she the
if
last
she
one?
had other
Yeah.
plans.
Well, I'm
She's left me in the
kind of
lurch.
glad about that because I don't really know how many more I had left in me.
Well, I'm sure you made a fantastic impression.
I could be the extra person inside you if you want.
Yeah, no, I've met some great people, but I think it's just too early to tell.
Speed dating is just to pique curiosity rather than find love.
It's just like
Isn't
a
it
little teaser,
peak
isn't
with
it?
a
You just gotta Just get to
P-I-Q-U-E?
know them, and just as you're getting there,
It's like tapas, I like to say.
I hate
a little bit of
tapas.
everything.
Love tapas, yeah.
Reminds me of General
Small
Franco.
I do have to call you out though because there's some times when I'm really the date's going well, and then just then
It was the Spanish
I hear you
nationalists
screaming
who
out.
killed my
Like after
family.
30 seconds, I need to be able to give you a signal or something. How long
I've
you been
never
hosting?
looked at
I have lots of
a
hosting experience,
patatas bravas
but
the same
specifically
way.
the speed dating stuff, just at the beginning of lockdown.
So those were digital, I presume.
Richie Rua
For me, finding love
says,
is the
turns
most
out everyone's
formative
only
journey of our
one
lives,
stood
and
up
I
date
just
away
wanted
for
to help people
opportunistic
continue that journey,
bisexuality. You
despite
know what? I think
circumstances.
you may be
Having said
more
that,
right than
there
you
is no real
think.
substitute for meeting someone
Faustian
special.
Man says he reminds me of
So
young
from these,
John
have you
Majors.
ever had
John Majors or
marriages
John
to
Major?
Yeah, we've had a couple. Even a couple of babies named after me. Yeah. Need to put it in my bio. Pregnancy facilitator.
We are still live,
Derek.
Twilord.
You really don't, because that sounds.
We're
like
on our
something that would be on a t-shirt
obligatory
on a lad's holiday.
The Stag Do t-shirts. You're right. Okay.
potential gay outing.
So how did you hear about us?
I was duped.
I quite
into coming
liked
here
Kathleen. It's just
I
she
thought I
lacked
was
all
going out for a drink with
personality.
my best mate Misha, and
I could have used her as my vessel.
she's actually somewhere here. She's on a date somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't get to
Well,
date
I
her.
love a strong male-female friendship. Do you prefer the company of women or men?
They do have the same haircut,
Oh, sorry,
Faustian man. Kind of.
rephrase. Who do you feel like you naturally engage with more easily?
Neither. I'm a misanthrope. I hate people. Oh, we need to bag a third date.
Well, Misha aside, I would definitely find it easier to relate to lads. It's not that I'm uncomfortable talking to women.
Oh, interesting.
Richie,
That's
well, we've
just
got
not what
a
the feedback
potential
from your
date
dates would
here.
suggest.
Which one would you rather date? This guy in
What
the
feedback?
red jacket? Or Ryan?
Say.
I don't know if you want to know. I'm just messing with you. That was a little bit unprofessional.
I'm gonna get you back for that.
You can try. You are halfway, guys. Halfway. God. Don't tell anyone I forgot.
Your secret is safe with me.
I wish this was Twin Peaks
So
or
tell me,
Blue Velvet.
What is the best way to approach all of this?
Faustian man, I
Aside
should say.
from being yourself.
Well, let me rephrase that. Do you have any less crap advice?
No, I don't. Sorry. The thing is, there's so many different types of personalities in here. One person's poison might be another person's paradise.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
Okay, I'll pose you this. Are you looking for someone more lively or laid back? Because
I
that
prefer
may
it when
decide
they
what
lay
kind of
back.
energy you want to exude yourself. They're both are brilliant.
Except the bludgeoning.
but markedly different.
I like someone lively. I like to electrocute them with a car battery.
I definitely want someone who is dynamic and a lively personality.
I don't know
Just-
why we went this whole
Spice my
serial
life.
killer thing
Ooh.
for
Not
Ryan,
to
but I'm
dominate, though.
sticking with it.
No. Because that can just be a whole different thing. It can get toxic. Although, there's
That
no harm in
orchid
needing to put
looks
my place
very
sometimes.
sick.
No? Crack of the
Not
whip.
in a good way.
I never said I was into that. I was wondering, has hosting these made you an expert in romance?
What, like some kind of love guru? No. No.
No, come on. You must have more insight than the average guy. Okay, wait. Okay. Has it ever helped
We've
in
got
your
to go
personal
out
life?
with this guy.
Sadly, no. No, it's still very single. Why, did you have someone in mind for me?
Yeah. Misha. She would love to meet you. She's here. I can introduce you.
You cretin.
I'm sure Misha's fab, but I won't be interested.
It's a bit mean. What's wrong with her?
Well, she's a her.
You are.
Yeah, sorry. No, I shouldn't have assumed. That was silly of me.
You're fine. Totally fine.
Yeah, you're a
So
moron.
what other events do you host?
So a lot for the queer community.
Ryan has
We
no
do a lot of,
gaydar, which is a bit
speed
strange,
dating.
Victoria.
We do traffic light
Because
parties,
if
key
Ryan, if we're playing
parties,
Ryan as
all
bi,
sorts. Really?
you would think
Okay. Is your final
you'd think
minute,
he'd have
guys?
some kind
Final
of
minute.
inclination, indication.
Again.
He's daft.
Sorry. What were we?
We were talking about your queer events.
Yes. Yeah, you should come sometime.
Sorry, are you assuming that I'm still going to be single after this?
I don't know. Maybe
I would love
see
to
it as
come
a safety
with
net.
you.
I would love to. You know,
I could have written
so
this
long
game,
as
couldn't
you're
I?
hosting, of course.
Naturally.
A fishing question, Sinister Lowen.
And that, ladies and gents.
At this point,
is
he starts
the
deep
end of
throating the
tonight's
microphone.
event. I've been Derek. I'm safe.
I don't know why I went there.
Have you had a
I
good
don't
time?
care. I don't care. He is fondling the
Thanks,
low-hanging fruit.
I'm actually kind of glad that the musician bailed.
Oh, she's lovely. But I'm kind of glad too. But that is totally against the rules to say that.
There was no reason
Is it
for that.
also against the rules for me?
There was
to
no
ask for
reason for
socials?
that.
No. At
But
Demo
except
events.
I'm desperate for Demi Moore. You're Demi Moore. From The Substance. I love that movie. You have changed.
So what
Well,
about you? tell me about your speed dating.
Yes, we got our 3, didn't we?
There was Azalea. Yeah, she was something else.
I
She
wasn't really
brought her own
taken with
kombucha. She had
Azalea.
her own
I
goblet
preferred
that she brought.
Kathleen, oddly.
Goblet.
Yeah, with a crow on it. It's just very different.
She did offer
but
the
it was
goblet.
Really interesting.
I said,
because
let's
it
wait
wasn't
for a
like
second
any of the other
date.
dates I went on.
Was there chemistry over kombucha?
Yeah, I guess.
Technically,
you
there's
could say
chemistry
there
in
was a bit of
kombucha.
Chemistry, yeah. I could see it going somewhere. There was Brandy. Let me tell you about Brandy. My God, she would put you to shame the amount of work she would do. She is a crypto trading
The
beautician, and she's
Subtitles seem
What
auto-generated.
a combination.
I don't even know how she finds the time to do all of it.
Was there a spark?
No. I mean, I sat down and I started telling her, you know,
Again,
about
no
myself,
topless
job and
Vinny
everything,
in
and
this
it just-
one. Very
I could see
disappointed.
she was almost like glazing over when I was telling her.
Yes.
I'm just not for her, I don't think. There was Kathleen, who was a PhD student studying psychology. She was very smart. She was reading on our date. She was just very smart.
Don't say
It
that
was
as if it's a good
intimidating.
Do
thing.
you think there'll be more from Kathleen?
It would be difficult.
No, I don't think
She
so.
froze me
I
out.
don't think I quite reached her standards in terms of what's going on between my ears. I just don't see it happening.
Well,
I
it won't
think
be
you're
for
right. They
everyone.
are both bottomless,
Aha,
Mr. Mister.
Now, let me tell you about Tony. She's a
Richie Rowe says I accidentally had a
Wow.
date
She
with
was
this
just quite
fruity
laid
lad.
back.
I have to go on a gay
Um,
date out of social embarrassment
sort of
now.
person who was like,
Oh,
as
is
good as
that
you can
right?
get, you
Is
know?
that right,
That sounds
Ryan?
fun.
Everyone's
Maybe it
Irish
might be
now.
a
Everyone.
future with the football.
Faustian man.
I don't want to get
By the
ahead
way,
of
I'm going to a
myself,
queer speed dating
Yeah.
event.
but I'd love to see
I
her
know
again.
you. I've never spoken
Yeah,
about
and,
being queer
absolutely
before, but
nothing happened.
I
I was
just
supposed
thought,
to
why
be
not?
meeting,
I mean,
for this date, this
having no
musician,
luck
which
with women.
failed. And then, do you remember the host?
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek is his name.
I mean, how different
So
can
I
it
was
be,
sitting there,
really?
And he came up and told me about a girl who had to leave. And then we sat down, we just started talking.
You and Derek.
Yeah,
God,
he's
I
just.
love
Oh,
that.
don't,
Yeah,
don't,
I mean, I'm sure you
don't
saw plenty of his
condescend.
movies, just, he's a
I
cool guy.
love
Very
that. That's
suave.
very.
So would there be more with
I've
Derek?
always suspected.
Yeah.
At least you're acting
Love
on it
that
now.
for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what's the next move?
I don't really know. I kind of have a few options, so.
We do have a few
Mr.
options.
Popular.
Yeah, well, you know, what can I say? I guess I just need to think about it a little bit. And.
I'm going to be
Go from there.
dreaming of this music.
Proud of you.
Peace.
What about your dates? How did it go with Bash? Well, everybody, I've got some very exciting news. You see, we've got a couple of books coming out for The World Below, and I'm starting development on them very soon, so that's going to be fun. If you haven't picked up The World Below yet on DriveThruRPG or BackerKit, I very much recommend doing so. Pick up in PDF or print. If you have already picked it up, please leave a rating or a review, or both, because that genuinely helps with additional sales. The game is selling so well, it is justifying additional books, so thank you to all of you who have purchased it, given I hammer on about these games so often in these videos. Some of you must be, and it really is appreciated that you're showing me some support like that. If by some strange dark miracle you are not a role player, yes, you can support me by supporting my Patreon if you want. If you like these videos, if they bring you some entertainment, I appreciate the support, because certainly YouTube doesn't pay. Now, in terms of dates, Victoria says we should cover Azalea and Tony. They'd be more interesting to stream. Richie says, I enjoy the idea of Ryan sleepwalking into a gay relationship and thinking he's a bit handsy, but he's a good lad. You can't say it without the accent. Faustian Man says this was hilarious and congratulates me. Well, thank you so much, Faust. I do appreciate it. I don't know if there's this movie called Faust. I remember getting it from Love Film when back pre-Netflix, clearly, where there's a woman who turns into a giant pair of breasts. She expands and explodes into a giant pair of breasts. It's got the guy who played Mikhail from Lost in it. He's admittedly been in a lot of things. It is not a good film, but I remember renting it and for some reason watching it. Tit Puddle, Sinister Lemon. That's it. Yes. Well, I'm glad I wasn't imagining it. You know, when I think of extreme movies that I've enjoyed, because I do enjoy some extreme cinema, and I certainly a lot more when I was in my 20s than now. I remember the one that grossed me out the most was, I think, Dead or Alive, not the martial arts movie, the I think it's a Takashi Miike movie. I think it's Takashi Miike, where a woman gets drowned in a paddling pool full of shit. That was too much for me. And oddly, I could watch things like Audition with a great big smile on my face. And then something occurred when I was in my 30s where I grew up sufficiently that then I started seeing movies far tamer than that, and it started making me feel ill. Maybe it's empathy. I developed empathy in my 30s. And I remember watching, admittedly this is on the extreme end of things, I remember watching Antichrist. And that's a Lars von Trier film. And that was the first movie I had to switch off. I had to switch it off, get up, and go for a walk before I could carry on watching. And it wasn't even the scene that you would expect. Chaos reigns, Faustian man. It was the Willem Dafoe waking up in the night with ticks covering his hand. And that's pretty early on. But obviously follows the infant death at the very start of the film, because it is Lars von Trier, of course, and big throbbing penis that is also in that scene. Fine with those, but the ticks, the ticks on the hand, that was enough to make me think, oh god, I need to turn this off now. And I went back to it at some other point, and the snippage, the ball crushing, all of that, very unpleasant viewing, the sort of thing I just would not choose to watch anymore. And when I play this game, it makes me think of Antichrist. I don't know why. No, it makes me wish I was watching a movie instead of playing this. Anyway, for the time being, and Richie Rua says, I look back on my time reading Crossed with deep regret. I agree with you on that, Richie. I think Crossed is I think people who enjoy Garth Ennis, I think there's a perfect age bracket for Garth Ennis comics. And don't get me wrong, he has written some excellent stuff. When I was in, again, late teens, early 20s, I remember thinking Preacher was fantastic. It was seminal. It made me think of the world and religion in different ways. And then I tried to reread it much later in my life and realised this is incredibly vulgar and puerile and childish. It was still fun, don't get me wrong, and it's still very well illustrated, but it's so juvenile. And I had the exact same problem with The Boys and with Crossed. Some really interesting stuff in there, but it's definitely for a certain age range. I liked Warren Ellis a lot, but until he turned out to be a dirty wrong'un. Transmetropolitan was a massively influential comic on my life, and there was actually quite a lot of Warren Ellis. I think he did Desolation Jones as well. That was very, very good for what it was only very limited, that series, but I remember liking it. My favourite comic series are almost always by Brian Azzarello. His 100 Bullets comics, Fatale, Crime, his various noir comics are, I can still read them now and I still love them, but I so rarely read comics these days. Don't know where we ended up moving into this from, but anyway, Twilight says, if my love life is any indicator, the main difference between straight and gay dating is transcendental isolation doesn't turn gay lads into incels. You're probably right. Richie Rua, I read more into it. I read more than Ennis when it started getting proper horrible and lost the plot entirely and turned into pure gore. Yes, indeed. Now, anyway, we are going to be ending our 10 dates here because I'm going to be getting something to eat. But we need to decide who among these three we're going to date. We already have a vote from Victoria for Azalea and Tony. And there's no point voting in the live chat. I'll forget what you say here. Make sure you put it in the comments on the video. Which of these three, we can only vote 2 of them, remember, are we going to meet for a second date? So put it in the comments on the video so that I can keep it recorded. Anyway, that's it from me. So I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Do pick up The World Below if you haven't already. The sales genuinely help because I get a little bit of a cut. It's the only RPG I get royalties from. And I will see you next time. I imagine... Well, I'll be doing my walk and talk tomorrow, and I'll have another Let's Play like this on Thursday. Until then, bye-bye.